So welcome back to another episode of Pause the Punch, and I'm joined by light heavyweight Liam Conroy. How you doing, Liam?
Hey, I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, man, been really meaning to catch up with you and have a conversation and just sort of talk about your boxing career. As I just said, you're a light heavyweight, 25
Yeah,
fight, 18, 6 and 1. The first thing
yeah.
I wanted to know with you is how did you get into boxing? Where did it start?
Uh, I started boxing when I was about 9 years old. We used to move around a lot, and I'd try loads of different sports as we were moving a lot. And it was my mum. My mum used to take me to loads of different sports and stuff, and she
Mm,
just took me to a boxing gym, and I kind of never really took it very serious. I just like played it as well as playing football and rugby and the rest of it. And then when I got to senior school, a few of my mates were boxing at another boxing club at the time. So I kind of followed them, like my new mates from
yeah.
school, just like as a social thing. And then once I joined that gym, I just like got hooked on it and carried on, and I've never stopped.
Okay. So while she was doing boxing, what other sports were you doing? Was you into football, rugby?
Yeah. I did football only until like I started senior school, and I carried on playing rugby till I was about 14, and I broke my arm during a rugby game, and it put me out of boxing obviously for a
Yeah, of
while.
course.
So
Yeah.
after that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore if it's going to take me away from boxing." Because by then, I'd kind of decided that I wanted to take it serious, and I already decided by then that I wanted to like be a professional boxer and stuff. So, but I can't be playing rugby and getting little injuries and stuff because it's
Yeah.
a rough game, isn't it?
And how did you find sort of the early morning jogs? I'm assuming also a lot of your friends were doing sort of fun stuff, going to parties, talking to girls. I'm assuming you didn't get a chance to do those sort of things. How did you feel when you
Ye-
sort of just come into boxing?
Yeah, I was always all right. Like I remember, like all my mates used to like be drinking on the weekend from when we were
Yeah.
like 13, 14. But I'd always just go along with them, but never drank.
Okay.
It was never a big thing to me. Like I'd like go out and I'd like be walking around the streets till late at night and messing about, like doing what young lads do. But I was never really like bothered by drinking. Like all my friends kind of knew that I was like really into boxing. They were all kind of supportive and that, and it kind of like when they were doing like drink and all the rest of the things that they'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
keep me away from it because he's going to be a boxer and that, keep me away from it." So my mates were always kind of supportive. Was that they just like carried on doing their daft stuff and supported me to stay away from it all. Really,
So what was your sort of release? What was your fun thing that you used to do when they were doing their drinking and stuff? What was yours?
I don't know what like I sat outside of boxing. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really know. I guess I was always kind of the type of person that didn't really need to drink to like have a good
Have a good
time.
time. Yeah.
I was always like one of the more like I was a little gobshite. So I was
I
like
understand.
fairly having a good time and didn't really need to like
Have a drink.
unwind with alcohol or anything like that. I was already pretty laid back and enjoyed it.
Yeah. So you won an English title, you won a Northern Area title. After you won those titles, one, how was you feeling, and sort of what was you thinking next? Did you want more titles, or like what? How was you feeling after you won those sort of titles? Because they are sort of prestigious, well-known titles.
Yeah, I think like I won. I was gonna retire
Mm.
in 2015 because I'd been beaten in prize fighter,
Yeah.
and then my trainer told me that he believed that I'd be able to win a title like of some sort, and he didn't want me to retire, and he wanted me to keep going, kind of thing. So I owe everything in my career to my trainer Johnny Roy. Um, yeah, so I kind of like thought, right, I'll do one more, and then I'll win a title, and then I won that, and then it just kind of like made me hungrier.
Hungry more.
That
Yeah.
was just one of them British Challenge belts they don't do anymore. But they're good like a stepping stone title. It was like an 8-rounder.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of step up in rounds, and you get used to making the weight and having a day before weighing and everything. And I was like, I can go for something else. And then I went for a WBC youth, won that, and I was just getting hungrier and hungrier every time. Every time I won something, I was like, I want something a bit better. I want something a bit better. Until I got to the English title, and that one was like in the away corner, kind of come out of the blue. Like I wasn't that confident leading into that fight. I was like boxing a guy that was 17-1, on his promoter's show and everything, and I kind of just like took it to see how it went, and because it was like it felt like it was good money at the time. I was on holiday with my fiance. It was the holiday we got engaged on. And my trainer rang me and said, like, you can box for the English title in September, and I was like, yeah, definitely. So then I was like, oh god, I'm gonna have to start running on this holiday, and I'm gonna have to like ease up on the food and everything. But yeah, and then like they were doing like the promoter was doing these things like ask the experts and all this. They were all picking me to get stopped and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
So I think like when I got to London, I was like thinking they must know something about this lad that I don't know.
That
Like,
you don't know, yeah.
yeah, like he must be pretty good. But I ended up stopping him in the second round, and I remember that after that it was like just such a shock that I'd won it, and like I remember I was really emotional in the ring. I was like nearly crying. Like I don't think I imagined ever winning an English title. And I was like stamping around the ring, and I was like, I felt like I'd proven something because everyone had like picked against me
Yeah,
and
you was the
stuff.
underdog in the fight, so I can imagine how you feel.
Yeah, and I was getting like tweets like saying, "Oh, you're gonna get like." I'd never dealt with all the stuff on social media before, and I was getting all these tweets saying I was gonna get battered and I wanted in his league and that, and I was kind of like buying into it all, and I remember my trainer coming and putting his arm around me, and I had like tears in my eyes, and he was saying, "You're celebrating all because you surprised yourself. You never expected to do that, but I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it, and I always remember it." And then after I won the English title, I was like, right, I'm not going to set any limits anymore. I'm just going to go for the best fights I can get and the best titles I can get, and just see how I do and just do my best. That's the attitude I've had towards it ever since, because anything I do now will be a bonus, because the English title to me was massive. But now I've got the English title and a couple of defensive. I'd really love to get the British before I retire.
Yeah. So at that point, did you feel I've achieved my childhood dreams? I've won the English title. If you retired at that point, you'd have been content.
Yeah, like everything just feels like a bonus now because I've done that. And then like over the last couple of years, like since I fought Blatzy for the British
I was
title,
literally about to come onto that literally next. I was literally about to come onto that. Yeah, go on.
I've always got that in my head now. Like maybe I could have won a British title if I never had to box Blatzy for it, because that was I'd made myself mandatory for it, so I'd earned the right to be there. But I just got my mandatory position was against someone that was a world class boxer, so I've got in the back of my head where I'm thinking maybe if I boxed someone else for it, I might have had a British title and I'd have been able to tell my kid that I had a British title and everything. So
Yeah,
that's kind of like what's driving me now.
I agree with you. And the first time I really heard your name buzzing was in preparation for the Blatzy fight. So I followed his career from when he first started, and then that fight was being announced, and I heard that's when the first time I really heard your name a lot. So just going back to that fight, because I remember watching that fight. When you got offered the Blatzy fight, one, how was you feeling? Were you definitely going to take it? And two, what's it like being in the ring with Blatzy?
Well, I've actually been out with an injury for a year. Well, for about 9 months at the time, and it was like near Christmas, and I remember coming back like in the gym and training. I was just got to have like a 4 or a 6 rounder against, like, I was going to have it at like cruiserweight because I'd put on a bit of weight because I'd been like had this surgery, and then I got like the people tagging me on Twitter that I'd been made mandatory for the British title, me and Josh Blatzy. I remember thinking that won't happen. That they're not gonna.
Why did you think that? You just didn't think it was real?
Yeah, I just thought. I don't know. I just remember thinking they're not gonna let me fight Blatzy, and I was thinking, will my managers let me fight Blatzy, or I don't know. We'll see what happens, like business wise and stuff. And then it was like around Christmas time, I got this phone call, and it was like, you can fight Josh Blatzy for the British title, and I remember thinking, bloody hell, like this is a good dude.
It's a nightmare of a fight.
Yeah, but I was like, I'd been waiting. I'd won my British title eliminator when I won the English title, and I'd been waiting for like 18 months. So I'd kind of like given up on the idea that they were going to do it, and I was just hoping someone would give me a chance as a voluntary or something. And then that come out, and I was like, whoa, and I was like contemplating it, and I was like, it's for a British title. You'll fight anyone for a British title.
Yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
And then I basically had the same conversation with my trainer, because my trainer, Johnny Roy, he was saying like it's not ideal timing. You've been out with an injury and stuff. Like we could like just push it back. And I was like, I don't want to lose this mandatory position, no matter who it is. I'll fight him for a British title kind of thing. And just let me do it. I'll beat him and that. And then he was like, right then, work starts on Monday. You've got to do everything I say now until that fight and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'll do everything you say. And we had like a great camp for it. Work give me 6 weeks off unpaid. So I just had an absolute belting camp. It was a brilliant experience. And when I'd convinced myself that I was going to beat him. I was like, I'm too much for him. I've got too much experience. He's not beat anyone. He won't land on me like he's been landing on me.
At that point, he hadn't really fought anyone. That was true, to be honest.
No.
In the pro ranks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking like, I'm going to take him deep. I'm going to... the plan was to frustrate him because it was all on him. Like, I'd come down to London and there was like a painting of him in a house when I was on the way, and I was like, this is mad. Like, he's like proper big, isn't he? Like, I was thinking it's all this precious for him. No one's expecting me to do anything, so I'm gonna frustrate him early, let him box someone that's a bit harder to hit, a bit more slippery, and then like to drag him deep. But when we got in there and on the night, I was confident right up until I got stopped. Like, I really thought that I was going to take him late and beat him, but I just remember being in there and his presence in the ring, like, he always felt like he was right on top of you. Like, you could never rest. Yeah, you could never rest. Like, it was quite mentally frustrating because you think, and all his punches come like really fast and hard. I remember like slipping a couple and feeling a bit good about it, but like the sound when the punch passed me, it was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to stay switched on here like for 12 to do this, because if I have a lapse of concentration for a split second, like they're gonna work. But so I was just boxing to the plan. But as soon as he caught me once, he wasn't letting up, was he? And he needs a good finisher too. So he come and put it on me and finish me. I remember when I went down the first time, I wasn't like overly hurt, but I remember in my head thinking, "He's a really good finisher, and he's gonna come for you." Yeah. And I was thinking, if I tried too much to survive, he's just gonna round me about. So I was thinking, you're gonna have to hit him hard and put him off. Hit him hard as he can as he's coming, because he's gonna come. But he was just too sharp, and he's got me.
How buzzed was you after that first shot they hit you with? How buzzed was you? Did you put your legs go, or it wasn't that bad?
It was just like a bit. I think it was just a bit of a flash knockdown, the first one. I remember thinking, I can still do this. I can keep out of his way, but I just got to hurt him coming, because he's going to come at me, and I know he's a good finisher kind of thing. Then the second one was probably I was fairly hurt on when I got stopped.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, like if I get hit with any more, then I'm getting knocked out. But yeah, but it's like it's weird, like mentally fatiguing thing in the ring with him is a lot more effective than you think, and it puts you under a lot of pressure, like mentally and physically. Like, it's very, very good. I'll be interested to see where he goes. I hope he wins the world title, because I like him as a person too.
Yeah, I think I think it was a good fight. I think you definitely made it tricky for him in the first round. You made it tricky, but eventually, I said he was cutting off the ring. And the thing about him is, he throws his punches in bundles, so 4, 5, and they're very quick. So I can imagine what you're saying in terms of how it felt imposing when he was actually sort of in the ring with him.
Yeah, it takes someone really, really disciplined and to take him late and beat him, I think, because it's just such a long time to just stay out of the way of them punches. Like, you can't have a lapse of concentration for a split second. So like, people have took him late, but he's found the shots in the end. It's just 36 minutes of not letting him. As well as trying to beat him too. It's a tricky game to play.
So after you fought Boatsi, which is for the British title, you then had a big step up and fought for the European. What was you thinking at the time when you sort of took that fight? Was it more, this is make some money, or at that point did you think, to be honest, I've had a Boatsi fight, I've maybe taken a bit of time out, now I'm ready for the next step?
Yeah, well, I'd been sparring Stephen Ward for Boatsi. And then
Okay.
I got offered that fight. And as far as like pals go in boxing, like him and his team, like I have a lot of respect for him. Like they're really good blokes, but it helped us out with sparring and everything. And we got offered the title fight, and I kind of just thought it's not ideal because I like him as a bloke. I have a lot of respect for him, but I thought like if we've done like 100 rounds for free, we may as well do 10 more, and one of us gets
I
the
get paid.
European title and get a few quid out of it, and with that European title brings a world ranking and everything. So I just looked at that as a way to like boost my career again, because I'd lost off Blacksea. I was feeling a bit bad about it. I didn't know how things were gonna go, but it kind of ended up being a positive for me because it like raised my profile that much, even though I lost. I think I kind of put in a bit of respectable display, and I got offered that off the back of it. So yeah, like I say, even though I really liked Stephen Ward too, it was just like a great opportunity for us both.
It was a
Like,
big fight though. I remember watching the fight. It was a big fight. It was exciting as well. You went at it. So did he. It was literally back to back like a slugfest. So you had
yeah,
it was an entertaining fight for the fans. I can't lie. You gave us a good fight.
yeah, I think it won like the WBO fight of the year or
Yeah,
something.
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like,
Did you get an award for it or anything? Like any certificate or some sort of trophy?
nah, that would have been nice. Like,
Yeah.
nah, but it'd been nicer if I'd won and got fight of the year. But
Hmm.
I just remember on the night, it just felt like it was just awful because I was absolutely knackered. It was like a really testing fight. I think a lot of fighters would have spewed it in there because I remember I'd just blown myself out and I was just that tired and he just kept coming, he wouldn't be denied. But because I like him as far as like losses go, same with the Batu one, like I want them to do well for themselves and their family too. So
Hmm.
it feels better losing to someone like that than someone that I've not really got on with, and it'd leave a bit more of a bitter taste in your mouth. But losing to Steve, like, I was kind of thought like, oh well,
Too bad.
he's gonna put himself in a good position for his missus and his kids and everything. So
Yeah.
there it goes. But just being by a point as well, it was. I thought we might have done that again. I wouldn't have looked forward to it, like, because I think it might have knocked a few years off my life, that fight. But yeah, he's gone up to cruise now and he's looking good. So good luck to him.
So in terms of, I said the light heavyweight scene at the moment is stacked. Every time I see the rankings, I'll go on Boxrec and I'll check the rankings of the fighters there. I'm just thinking the domestic scene is stacked. There's so many fights you can make. We just saw what Anthony Yard versus Lyndon Arthur. They're both sort of good fighters.
Yeah,
You've got people like who? You've got people like Dan Aziz. Like I said, you've got people like Boatsi, Craig Richards. So right now at this stage of your career, what are you trying to do now? Are you just looking for the big domestic fights? And if so, are there any names that you really want to fight? As I said, you even got people like Dex Spellman, and I said it's a stacked division. I think probably one of the most stacked in the UK at the moment.
Yeah, we're all around it. The similar level in this top 10, I'd say, like Boatsi and like Callum Johnson, Yard and Arthur are probably the best, but like everyone below that would all make good fights with each other, I think. And if you chucked us in with some of them, we'd make good fights too. So it's a very good division. I just want another go at the British title. Like, so you've got Craig Richards and Shakan Pitters, who are both really good boxers too.
Shakan Pitters is tall as well. He's like, how tall is he? He's 6'4".
Yeah, very tall.
Wait.
He'd be a very hard person to box and a very hard person to prepare for.
Yeah.
It's hard to find sparring like that. But so the winner of them two, I'd love, if that's not likely, Dan Aziz and Ricky Summers are in the British.
I think Dan Aziz would be a good fight for you, to be honest. He just beat Andre Sterling, who you beat as well.
Yeah, so we both coming off, like, obviously I lost my last, but the one before was Sterling. So
yeah,
I guess we both, if you use Sterling as a measuring stick, we're probably around a similar level. It'd probably make a good fight. Both managed by NTK too. So it's probably a fight he could make, but he's got a British title eliminator himself with Ricky Summers. So like, good luck to him in that. He seems like a good lad and he's on the up, isn't he? So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Ricky Summers has been about a bit longer, but I'm thinking like I'll be there if there's any pullouts for that. I'll be there.
If you could pick one fight, so the light heavyweight division now, everyone that's in the domestic scene, you could just pick one, and that's going to be your last fight. Who are you picking, and how does the fight go?
The British champion, Shakan.
Okay.
Because I just want that British title, so that's who it'd be, and I'd have to say I'd beat him.
But how do you beat someone like Shakan Peters? Is he 6'4", quite rangy? How would you fight him? What would be your approach?
I would have to press him intelligently, wouldn't I? And not waste anything. Throw punches in bunches.
Yeah.
And then try and wear him down the stretch, or just outpace him and outwork him. That'd be how you'd have to go about it, isn't it?
Mm.
No secrets to that.
Yeah, of course.
Jab him on. So
yeah.
go like. But he probably imagines a lot of people will be able to do that. He'll try and do that to him. He probably thinks people won't, but it feels different when you're in there, doesn't it? So I'd be giving it my best shot.
Yeah. Definitely, like I said, it would be good to see you in one of these guys. I said, I think there's so many names. Dan Aziz, personally, I would like to see that fight because I think he's at that level now where he hasn't really got a massive name, but he is sort of he's had pretty good fights, and he's on a stepping stone almost to get to those fights.
I agree. He's like on the up, isn't he? And if I've been around this level for a while, it'd be a good fight. It'd be a good fight for himself to see where he's at. He obviously thinks he's ready for British and above. So
titles,
if he could beat me, that'd prove that. I'd be interested in the fight. I'd love that fight too.
Yeah. So going into the last question now. If you was left on an island and you could only bring 3 things with you, what would they be? And it can't be your missus, it can't be your son. You could only have 3 things. What would you bring with you? It's supposed to make you think anyway. On an island, worry if it takes a bit of time for you to think.
Yeah, that's a tricky on that. My phone.
That's something you think about there.
How long am I there?
Pardon me?
How long am I now?
3. Oh, how long are you there for? You're there for maybe, let's say, 6 months. It's a long time.
Phone, some headphones. My phone and some headphones. Listen to music and books, and that's hard. That.
I would say no boxing gloves.
Just have to load of chocolate. Huh?
I said no boxing gloves. Some shadow boxing out there on your own.
Nah, I just think if it was a desert island in nice weather, I think I'd just be like chilling listening to music and eating chocolate. Loads of chocolate.
Hopefully the chocolate doesn't melt out there because you know the temperatures in the desert.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Liam. Definitely, it was nice having a conversation with you. As I said, I've been following your career for a while, and I just want to see you in some more big fights. As I said before, you potentially call it a day. So definitely, as I keep going, and thank you, as I said, for joining me on Pause the Punch. Hopefully, we'll catch up soon. Maybe just before or around your next fight.
Yeah, thank you too. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you, Liam. Have a good one. Talk to you later.
Yeah, you too. See you later.
Bye.